Hi everyone, it's Aru and welcome to my series, What to Make for Dinner. And today we are making this beautiful chicken fried rice. It's a super easy fried rice to make. It comes together so fast. It's packed full of veg, protein, and it's the perfect weeknight dinner, you guys. So let's get straight into it. To make our chicken fried rice, I've got some long grain rice that I cooked up. I'm just gonna pop this into a bowl and then pop this in the freezer for it to cool down. Now, ideally, to make fried rice, you need to use some old rice. One that you cooked the night before, that's been sitting in the fridge so that it's nice and cold, because when you're cooking this up, you want the sauce to just coat the rice and not get all clumpy. And then we'll pop this in the freezer for it to just cool down until we prep the rest of the chicken and the veg. I've got about 500 grams of boneless chicken thighs here. So just get rid of the skin like this. And then cube this up into like bite-sized pieces. Kind of that size. Pop the cubed up chicken back into the bowl and then season this with some fish sauce, maybe about a teaspoon, a little bit of paprika powder, again about a teaspoon, and some garlic powder. Give this a good mix just to coat everything. Actually, let's go in with some oyster sauce as well. 1 to 2 teaspoons of oyster sauce. A little bit more. And give this all a good mix so that the seasoning gets into all of the chicken. Once all of your chicken is nicely coated in all of that seasoning, leave this aside to marinate while we prep the rest of the veg. For this fried rice, I'm using carrot, leeks, spring onion, and garlic, and some corn. For the carrot, cut that into little cubes. So you get kind of that size so that it cooks up fast. So I've chopped up my carrot, my garlic, my spring onion, and my leeks. That's all of the veg prep done. So now let's get down to actually cooking up our fried rice. Get a wok heating on a high heat until it's very, very hot. We're going in with just the tiniest dash of oil, just to get the chicken frying up nicely. The chicken has been marinating now for about 15 minutes while we were chopping up the veg. So give that a little stir just to mix everything through again, and then pop it into your hot wok. Just give it a quick mix just to get it going, and let that brown up nicely. After about 2 to 3 minutes, then give it a stir again. You want to get a little bit of color going on the chicken, so stir it and then just leave it untouched again for a few more minutes, just to kind of get a little bit of a char going on one side of the chicken. Once your chicken has cooked for about 5 to 6 minutes and it's starting to nicely brown up, then add in our chopped garlic. Give that a stir and let that cook for a few more minutes, just until the garlic starts to soften up a little. The chicken is about 80% cooked through now. Take it out of the pan and pop it back into your bowl. Set that aside and get the pan reheating. We're going to cook the veg up separately, just so that each ingredient gets a chance to really get a high heat and a good cook. When you're cooking on a home kitchen stove, as opposed to, the restaurant kitchens, you don't have that same firepower. And the way to get that good fried rice is just to kind of get a bit of a char going on everything. So once our wok has reheated, add in the carrots and your chopped up leeks. But leave the spring onions to add in right at the end. Give that a stir and get that cooking. We're only seasoning this fried rice with fish sauce, not salt, because I love that kind of umami flavor you get with fish sauce. It brings in a whole other depth of flavor, you guys. Give that a stir and just let that cook down a little bit, maybe 2 to 3 minutes on a high heat. Once this is cooked for about maybe 3 to 4 minutes, go in with some oyster sauce, a little bit of chili flakes for a bit of heat, and then give it a good stir just to coat all of your veg in that sauce and the chili. And now we can go back in with our chicken. Stir that through, reduce the heat a little bit, and let that cook maybe for another 5 minutes more, just for everything to cook through. And then just taste a piece of chicken. Okay, I need just a little bit more fish sauce and a little bit more oyster sauce to this. You can kind of play around with it at this point, depending on how saucy you want it. I want this fried rice to be quite a saucy kind of fried rice, so I'm adding in more, but you can hold back on it. Just as long as you're happy with the flavors, you can hold back on how much actual sauce you add. Now crack 4 eggs into the bowl and add in about a spoonful of fish sauce, and then give this a quick mix with a fork just to break up the egg yolks. Move the chicken mixture to the side of the saucepan to create kind of a well in the middle. And into this, I'm going in with a good knob of butter. Once your butter has started to melt, then whisk your eggs just to mix everything through, and then pour it into the middle. Now the trick is to let the eggs set just a little bit, maybe for about 30 to 45 seconds before you break it up. Let it set again for a little, break it up, just to get that kind of scrambled egg consistency. So break it up like this. You can see the eggs at the bottom has started to set. So just break those up. And then just let it sit like that for about another 30 seconds more. Keep doing this until all of the egg has cooked through. That is the trick, you guys, to get those nice ripples of egg through your fried rice. As you can see, most of the egg has now kind of set. There's a little bit more. Just keep breaking it up and letting it cook until you have this beautiful scrambled egg looking egg in the middle. While that's cooking up, get your rice out of the freezer. So this is now nice and cold. You can see that the grains are kind of separated out. This is the perfect consistency for this rice to get nicely coated in all of that sauce and that yumminess without turning a little clumpy and like into a big mushy mess. Now that the eggs are pretty much cooked through, let's mix the chicken together with the eggs. Go in with your corn, mix that through, and finally we are going in with our cold rice. Put in about half of it and just mix that in to coat everything in all of that yumminess. Oh, it's looking so good. Break up any clumps of rice that's there. And once that first half is mixed through, then we can go in with the rest of the rice. The reason I'm doing it like that is so that, you know, you don't get a little overwhelmed with the amount of rice you to mix through with the rest of the ingredients. It's just easier. Ooh. It's just easier to work with like this. At this point, just give it a quick taste and adjust for seasoning to suit your palate. Delicious. Oh my gosh. For me, that's perfect. And now, right at the end, once you've killed the heat, go in with your spring onion just to bring in that little bit of freshness, a little bit of green into our fried rice. And that's it. Oh my God. It is delicious. Wow. The egg that's rippled through this, the veg, the chicken, all of that umami flavor that comes in from that fish sauce just elevates this to the next level. It's so easy to put together. So try this out at home the next time you're sitting around wondering what to make for dinner. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of these. Bye!